Welcome along, fellow time travelers. This time around, we're going to check out the history of one of the most legendary Gilded Age mansions in Newport, Rhode Island. Now let's begin our journey. Known to legions of Dark Shadows fans as the exterior of the fictional Collinwood Manor, this 39,648 square foot chateau-esque estate commands nearly 8 acres of manicured grounds with sweeping Atlantic Ocean vistas. Along with many of its incredible neighbors, Seaview Terrace has emerged as a beacon of Gilded Age grandeur and Gothic intrigue. Architecturally, Seaview Terrace channels the Loire Valley chateaus. Its chalk white, stucco exterior cloaks limestone foundations and is crowned by steep slate roofs adorned with gables, dormers, and a whole bunch of chimneys. A conical tower unites the wings, while balustraded terraces descend toward the ocean. Now check this out. Prior to parcels being sold beginning in 1941, a portion of the original 14 acres was on the waterfront. Boasting 29 bedrooms, 18 bathrooms, and over 450 windows that invite natural light into its halls, Seaview Terrace delivers the epitome of secluded elegance. Now, before I tell you about its history, let's take a quick look at some of the amazing rooms inside. The entrance to the Great Hall is a dramatic stone vestibule framed by massive open wrought iron gates with swirling scrollwork. Beyond lies a heavy paneled oak double door beneath a carved Gothic arch and transom. Rough plaster walls hold niches with classic reliefs and large tapestries, while slate flagstones cover the floor. A wrought iron chandelier glows softly, hinting at the soaring medieval grandeur that awaits inside the hall itself. And here we see the Great Hall. As you can see, it is a towering Gothic chamber with rough-hewn stone walls, massive exposed oak beams, and a minstrel's gallery overhead. A wrought iron chandelier shaped like a crown of thorns hangs from the vaulted ceiling, joined by smaller lanterns. Tall, stained glass windows cast colored light across flagstone floors, once strewn with tiger skins and Persian rugs. Carved Gothic furniture, suits of armor, mounted moose and stag heads, and enormous Flemish tapestries once dominated the space, while a carved stone equestrian figure guards an arched doorway. The atmosphere is baronial, medieval, and theatrical, like a film set for a nightly banquet. And now we see the Great Stairway. It is a soaring Gothic stone masterpiece, bathed in jewel-tone light from towering stained glass windows depicting heraldic and religious scenes. A sweeping, cantilevered limestone staircase curves upward beneath a massive crystal chandelier and a coffered wooden ceiling. Carved reliefs, twisted columns, and circular medallions adorn the walls, while an ornate marble fountain sits at the landing. Delicate tracery screens and pointed arches frame the space, blending medieval grandeur with Renaissance elegance and a dramatic, vertical ascent that feels more cathedral than mansion. Now check out this solarium. It is a sun-drenched, glass-walled conservatory with a sweeping curve of tall, arched windows, offering panoramic garden and ocean views. A terracotta tile floor reflects the light, while an ornate plaster ceiling with recessed coves holds delicate crystal chandeliers. Circular marble medallions punctuate the walls above the radiators. A long dining table with simple upholstered chairs once sat ready beneath the central chandelier, and a carved stone fountain featuring a nymph and cherub proudly stands in one corner. Potted plants soften the bright, airy space, blending classical elegance with the freshness of an indoor garden. Now, every mansion needs a music room, right? And this music room is a luminous Louis XVI style salon with pale paneled walls enriched by delicate Rococo plasterwork and fluted Corinthian pilasters. A soaring, barrel-vaulted ceiling centers a glittering crystal chandelier. Tall, multi-pane windows and a grand double doorway flood the polished parquet floor with light. Antique French furniture once filled the space, leaving the room airy and resonant, its refined architecture gleaming in quiet splendor. The drawing room at Seaview Terrace exudes Gilded Age grandeur with its soaring plaster-ornamented ceiling, featuring intricate scrolling and geometric motifs. Multiple ornate chandeliers with bronze arms and glass prisms once cast a warm glow over the expansive space. The walls are of rich wood paneling, and massive tapestries depicting lush landscapes and mythical scenes once lined the walls. A monumental stone fireplace, carved with Gothic figures and a 12th century overmantel, anchors one end, flanked by built-in bookcases. Velvet upholstered sofas and armchairs once cluttered around a marble-top table, laden with floral arrangements, while Persian rugs softened the polished parquet floor. Arched, leaded glass windows flood the room with natural light, framing ocean vistas beyond. Now let's enter the dining room. As you can see, it is a grand formal space with an elaborately coffered plaster ceiling adorned with scrolling floral and ribbon motifs. The walls were once covered floor to ceiling in large scenic tapestries depicting dense romantic forests. A towering marble fireplace dominates one wall beneath heavy wood paneling, while tall arched doorways and windows frame the room in deep shadow and soft light. So all those rooms look pretty awesome, don't they? And I'm going to show you some more while telling you about its history. You see, Seaview Terrace traces back to 1885 when financier James P. Kernochan, did I say that right? Kernochan? K-E-R-N-O-C-H-A-N. Kernochan, right? He built the original Seaview, which was a modest Elizabethan revival cottage. Fast forward half a century, and in 1923, bourbon magnate Edson Bradley, whose fortune was forged in the Bradley Brothers distillery, reimagined the site on a grander scale. Dismantling elements of his lavish Washington D.C. Aladdin's Palace, as people called it, he transported them 400 miles by rail and truck to Newport. Imagine doing that. He disassembled one mansion to create another. Architect Howard Greenlee integrated the Kernochan structure into a new north wing, completing the transformation by 1925 at a cost surpassing $2 million back then. That's roughly $35 million today. Bradley presented the estate to his wife, Julia Wentworth Williams, who sadly died in 1929. Edson summered there until 1935, then he bequeathed it to his daughter, Julia Bradley Shipman. Unfortunately, rising taxes prompted her 1941 departure and a failed $25,000 sale bid. That would be about $550,000 today. During World War II, the U.S. Army requisitioned it as officers' quarters, a stark shift from its socialite splendor. Now, why in the world the U.S. Army needed to be in some beautiful mansion in Newport, I'll never know. Was that a pretty good strategic location? I don't know. If you're in the military, please let me know your thoughts in the comments below. In 1949, the estate changed hands for $8,000 to Edward J. Dunn, who soon conveyed it to educator Susan Hood Emerson. By the way, $8,000 in 1949 would be about $107,000 today. She and her husband, George Waldo Emerson, repurposed the grounds as Burnham by the Sea, an esteemed girls' summer boarding school that flourished through the 1960s, infusing the property with the vitality of young scholars. Alrighty, now let's get to the good stuff. Seaview Terrace's brush with immortality arrived in 1966, when ABC selected its imposing silhouette for Dark Shadows, the vampire-laced soap opera that ensnared 20 million weekly devotees. Yes, it did. Did you ever watch Dark Shadows? You didn't even have to be alive in the 60s to watch Dark Shadows. I mean, I watched it, and I wasn't alive at the time. What a great idea for a show, wasn't it? As Collinwood's exterior, its turrets and cliffside perch embodied the great house's ominous presence, fueling fan lore of resident spirits and spectral sightings. Though interiors were filmed elsewhere, the estate's mystique inspired pilgrimages. In 1974, preservationist Martin T. Carey and his wife, Millicent, acquired it for $270,000. That's about $1.6 million as of the time of this recording, forestalling demolition and initially planned a conference center that became a cherished family retreat. From 1977 to 2009, they leased sections to Salve Regina University, dubbing the drawing room Cecilia Hall for student events and converting stables to Seaview faculty residences. Daughter Denise Ann Carey Betancourt, a New York architect, assumed stewardship afterward, guiding restorations such as the 1970s stained glass renewal by Donald Tinney. Strangely enough, a February 2024 fire affected minor areas, thank goodness. It didn't do too much damage, but prompt repairs affirmed its steadfast character. Through the years, Seaview's sales chronicle its resilient value. You had the $8,000 post-war acquisition and the Carey's $270,000 rescue. Recent market listings include $29.9 million in 2021, $30 million in 2022, and $28.5 million in October of 2025, which I heard is now under agreement as of the time of this recording, with annual costs around $750,000 smackaroos. But it's worth every single dime you see because it's more than a residence. Seaview Terrace is a living tapestry, from Bradley's lavish receptions to its role in Dark Shadows' cultural pantheon. And so, for the next guardian, be it a collector, or a large family, or a fan of Dark Shadows, it promises not just walls and windows, but a portal to Newport's gilded whispers and Dark Shadows' endless twilight. And if the new owners want to invite me over, please do so. I'll even bring the tea and scones. In fact, if anybody who lives in Newport, Rhode Island wants to invite me over, please let me know in the comments below or email me directly. I'm very easy to reach.
The drive was absolutely splendid.
Indeed. Now who's ready for a real party?
Oh, Charles, you are simply the limit.
So, what do you think of Seaview Terrace? If you're rolling in dough, would you live in a place like that? You know I would. Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Kindly remember to like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Please check out the links below to learn how to support my research and productions. Kindly be kind to all of our fellow Earthlings, and please do not harm them. And do yourself a favor, and go to a local shelter and adopt a cat, or a dog, or both. You and they will be very glad that you did. Until next time, especially if you have spent the last 2 centuries locked in a box, with nothing to keep you occupied but a glimpse into the dark shadows of your soul. I wish you safe travels on all your journeys. Bye.